Welcome back to my video series working through the Sonic Pi tutorial. In this video, we'll start with section 5, Programming Structures. Programming Structures. Now that you've learned the basics of creating sounds with play and sample, and creating simple melodies and rhythms by sleeping between sounds, you might be wondering what else the world of code can offer you. Well, you're in for an exciting treat. It turns out that basic programming structures such as looping, conditionals, functions, and threads give you amazingly powerful tools to express your musical ideas. Let's get stuck in with the basics. Moving on to section 5.1, blocks. Blocks. A structure you'll see a lot in Sonic Pi is the block. Blocks allow us to do useful things with large chunks of code. For example, with synth and sample parameters, we were able to change something that happened on a single line. However, sometimes we want to do something meaningful to a number of lines of code. For example, we may wish to loop it, add reverb to it, to only run it one time out of 5, etc. Consider the following code. Let's listen to this. Oh man, I got my audio set wrong. Let's try that again. That's better. Okay, continuing on with programming structures, blocks. Consider the following code. To do something with a chunk of code, we need to tell Sonic Pi where the code block starts and where it ends. We use do for start and end for end. For example, do and I'm going to indent these guys so it looks the same. Do all those things, then end. And notice when I hit enter, it boop, moves it over. However, this isn't complete yet and won't work. Try it and you'll get an error. Okay, try it. Unexpected do, expecting end of input. As we haven't told Sonic Pi what we want to do with this do end block. We tell Sonic Pi this by writing some special code before the do. We'll see a number of these special pieces of code later on in this tutorial. For now, it's important to know that wrapping your code within do and end tells Sonic Pi you wish to do something special with that chunk of code. Let's move on to 5.2. Iteration and loops. So far, we've spent a lot of time looking at the different sounds you can make with play and sample blocks. We've also learned how to trigger these sounds through the time using sleep. As you've probably found out, there's a lot of fun you can have with these basic building blocks. However, a whole new dimension of fun opens up when you start using the power of code to structure your music and compositions. In the next few sections, we'll explore some of the powerful new tools. First up is iteration and loops. Repetition. Have you written some code you'd like to repeat a few times? For example, you might have something like this. Play 50, sleep 0.5, sample electric blup, sleep 0.5, play 62, sleep 0.25. Let's listen to that alone. Run. Okay. What if we wish to repeat this 3 times? Well, we could do something simple and just copy and paste it 3 times. I guess for the purpose of demonstration, I'll actually do that. Except that there's a sleep 0.25 at the end there. There, does it 3 times. Now that's a lot of code. That is kind of a lot of code. It fills out my whole window. What happens if you want to change the sample from to electric plip? Well, I could go plip, plit, plip, 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 but that would take some time. You're going to have to find all the places within the original electric blup and switch them over. More importantly, what if you wanted to repeat the original piece of code 50 times or 1,000? Now that would be a lot of code, and a lot of lines to alter if you wanted to make a change. Iteration. In fact, repeating the code should be as easy as doing this as saying, do this 3 times. Well, it pretty much is. Remember our old friend the code block? We can use it to mark the start and end of the code we'd like to repeat 3 times. We then use the special code 3.times. So instead of writing do this 3 times, we write 3.times do. That's not too hard. Just remember to write end at the end of the code you'd like to repeat. So we have, I'm going to type this one out for emphasis, 3 times do, play 50, sleep 0.5, sample, elec, blup, sleep 0.5, play 62, sleep There we go. Now isn't that neater than cutting and pasting? Let's listen to it. That's kind of a fun little groove. Now isn't that much neater than cutting and pasting? We can also use this to create lots of nice repeating structures. Alright, I'm going to copy this. I'll type this one too. 4.times do, 4.times do, play 50, sleep 0.5, and 8.times do, play 55, release 0, release colon 0.2, sleep 0.25, and 4.times do, play 50, sleep 0.5, and. Okay, let's listen to that. Nice. Nesting iterations. We can put iterations inside of other iterations to create interesting patterns. For example, this one's a bit bigger, so maybe I'll just... No, I'm going to type it out. 4.times do, so there's our first block. Sample, drum, heavy, kick. 2.times do. Now we're in our like a second inside of it thing. Wow, that was well spoken. Sample, elec, blip 2, rate 2, sleep 0.25. Then we are ending that inner block. Sample, elec, snare, 4.times do. Now we're in a new interior block again. Sample, drum, tom, mid, soft, sleep 0.125, and end. Let's listen to that. Run. That goes fast. Looping. If you want something to repeat a lot of times, you might find yourself using really large numbers such as 1,000 times .do. In this case, you're probably better off asking Sonic Pi to repeat forever, at least until you press the stop button. Let's loop the amen break forever. So loop do sample loop amen sleep sample duration. Sleep sample duration. That's a nice feature. Sample duration of loop amen. Okay, so you do have to specify which one. Oh, I'm gonna stop that. The important thing to know about loops is they act like black holes for code. Once the code enters a loop, it can never leave until you press stop. It will just go round and round the loop forever. This means if you have code after the loop, you will never hear it. For example, the symbol after this loop will never play. So if we have loop do play 50 sleep 1 end sample drum symbol open, We run that. Notice it's just loop, 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 again and again, and it's never going to get here. Okay, now get structuring your code with iteration and loops. Let's cut it here for this video.